If everyone would, please rise. I'm going to open with a prayer. And after the prayer, we'll do a pledge of allegiance. We're going to replace this Christmas tree with a new flag before the next meeting. Until then, we've got a lot of flags up there we can pledge to. So let's pray. Most Heavenly Father, we thank you for your love and your mercy and your grace and all that you do for us, Lord. We thank you for the United States of America and the great state of Tennessee, and for Cumberland City, for the citizens. Lord, we just ask you to watch over us and guide us, lead us in wisdom as we deal in the business of this city. In the name of your Son, Jesus, we pray. Amen. Amen. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. Before I turn it over to Kristen, I'm going to tell a little story. I sat on this board many years ago, and at that time, I don't even know when it was, how long ago. At that time, the mayor was Ryan Holley. Some of y'all remember him, some of you don't, but he's an amazing, remarkable man, wonderful guy, and also the father of my beautiful wife and the granddaddy of my children. But he had a remarkable ability. Whether we had 3 guests or 30 guests, he would go all the way around the room and he would introduce every single person in the room first and last name. I don't have that ability. So I'm just going to say thank y'all for being here. Thank you, Alderman, for being here, for your service. Welcome. And with that, I'm going to turn it over to Kristen.
All right. We'll have the reading of last month's meeting minutes. The Board of Mayor and Aldermen of Cumberland City met in regular session Thursday, December 5th, 2024 at City Hall. All members were present. Also in attendance was Reporter Kristen Matthews, Levi Page with the Stewart County Standard, Tina Ramsey with the Stewart County Streaming, and several city residents. Mayor Vaughn called the meeting to order at 5 p.m. and called for the reading of November meeting minutes. They were approved on a motion by Gunson, second by Gillum. No unusual expenses were reported. First on the agenda was Resolution 2025-03, procedures to resolve a tied vote in a runoff election. A motion was made by Milliken, second by Gunson, followed by a roll call vote. Resolution 2025-03 passed. Next was Christmas break dates. City Reporter Chris Mathis asked for approval for date approvals December 18th, 24 through January 2nd of 25. Mayor Vaughn called for a motion. A motion was made by Gunson, second by Milliken, followed by a roll call vote. Next was Angel Tree Fund update. Recorder Mathis wanted to update the board to let them know that the city had received enough funds this year to take care of all the angels that the city had received. Also an update in the certified letters that were sent to the Mullins and Schnecks with the property matters within the city limits. After a brief discussion, Mayor Vaughn called for other business. None was brought forth. A motion to adjourn was made by Milliken, second by Gunson. Meeting adjourned at 5:13 p.m.
We've heard the reading of the minutes. Is there anything we need to discuss?
Motion.
Motion and second made to approve the minutes. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion carried.
There are no unusual expenses for this month.
If I don't do something I need to do, just nudge me and tell me.
Oh, you're fine. Do you want me to go ahead and?
Just, yes.
Okay. So the first thing I wanted to update you guys, I talked to Mr. Daniel Perigo. We got together this morning. The meeting that they had with the election office went well. Our date was approved. We were gonna hold an election February 18th, 2025 at the fire hall. We are not sure of times yet. He will be getting those out. The early voting dates are going to be January 29th through February 13th. And they're going to be held at the Dover Election office, not sure of times. He's gonna have specific times, a couple days a week, and he'll put those out there as soon as he gets those, together for us. And if he lets me know, I can put a sign on the door, that way everybody can know. I do have an update, concerning the election. With the state statute, we were, last meeting we were unsure, but I wanted to go ahead and have you guys vote that if we could have all three run again, we would. State statute information came back when with the statutes that's been passed, because those Miss Lydia Spencer's votes were certified and she wasn't a technical tied electee, I guess you would call it. Only the tied people can be in the election, because those certified, if it would have been a three-way tie, then all three could run. But because it wasn't a three-way tie, it was only a two-way tie, it's only those two, because they were certified votes. And there was no, after the election, nobody, I don't know what the word is, I'm sorry, I'm drawing a blank, contested it. So nobody contested any votes after the election, so because of that, it's just the tied candidates, unfortunately.
Nothing to approve there, it's moving on forward.
Yeah, moving on forward, I just wanted to give you guys an update on that. So, the next thing we have is this,
Did we get to the cost of everything? Did we find out that?
yes, it was gonna be $21.75, but, with the mayor chipping in with what he did with the county and everything, I mean, that's substantial. And then, again, Mr. Perigo, he's already got the number down, but right now on paper, we're gonna say around $21.75, not to exceed $2,500. But he really is truly doing everything he can to get it down for the city. So, if there's anything that he can do, he's definitely, doing what he can for the city, and I really appreciate that. And I appreciate the mayor going out of his way to, get that $5,000 from the county to come towards our funds, because he didn't have to do that, so.
Appreciate it. Anything else?
Alright. The next thing I have on the agenda, is Miss Paula Lynn. She is looking to speak to you guys about property, her property sits in front of the Busy Bee Market, up there in that little, right in front of the Busy Bee. Is Miss Paula Lynn here? If you just want to stand up, and you can, Mr. David Kimberlin's here, so if there's any questions that regard that, you can just let the board why you're kind of coming before them, and then any questions they have or anything Mr. David can put in, he will.
Okay. Paula Lynn, my father, James McGee, is the property owner. It's right across from the Busy Bee. We have the trailers up on the hill. And I spoke with Mr. Kimberly on the phone, and he said that we could replace a mobile home in Cumberland City as long as we're replacing an existing unit, because they're no longer allowed in the city limits unless you're replacing. What I would like to ask for, with it being this time of year, I understand the turnaround time is only 30 days. I was going to ask for an additional 15 days to complete the project because of weather this time of year, rain, snow, freezing temperatures. If we would be allowed to have an additional 15 days to complete the project.
I don't see any problem with it.
I don't either.
Because this time of year is so unpredictable.
Absolutely. It's very reasonable.
That would be okay with Charter?
Yeah, that's up, it's up to y'all. Yeah, I'm
Is there something we need to vote on?
I mean, yeah, we'll have to have a vote.
I make a motion that
I'll second.
Motion made and seconded.
And is there any permits that I have to pull from you before we start the project?
just a building permit for when they go to place the trailer.
When they bring the new home, so.
Yeah, just call me like a day or two ahead of time, and I'll get you squared away.
Okay.
They need to have that before they start the concrete and dirt work, right? Or do they? Because the unit's gonna be complete, they're gonna pull it up first.
Yeah, I mean, dirt work, I don't really look at dirt work. The only thing I look for in dirt work is when I go up, finished product, make sure it's not gonna, run back in the house, or it's not gonna run off in somebody
Well,
else's
it's
yard.
gonna have us be on a pad.
Yeah.
Concrete pad. But
Yeah.
they'll have to break ground and pour concrete.
Yeah.
So you don't have to have that for that purpose.
Typically no, but I mean, they can send me pictures of it before they pour.
Okay, there's a motion and a second to, approve the 15-day extension. All in favor? Aye. Approved.
Next we have, and I hope I'm not saying this name wrong, I'm so sorry. We have on the agenda, for 118 Main Street, which is right across the street, and Miss Kimberly Schneck. Okay, is that the way you say it, Schneck? Okay. We sent them a letter, last month asking them to come before you guys to see what we can get together, what we'd like to have done with the property, what we'd like to see done with the property across the road. Due to codes and stuff like that, it is out of codes right now. So that's where we are right now. So I didn't know if y'all wanted to speak to the board, just kind of tell us what an
What would
update
y'all
on
like to see done with it?
Realistically, the way it sits now, come down. I mean,
Well, I mean, clearly it already has.
yeah. I mean,
I'm saying future plans, what would the city of Cumberland like to have in that space?
basically take it down and just put grass seed or until somebody decides to, if they want to sell it, just put it to seed so it don't have runoff everywhere when you get a rain. Typically, that's what we do in Clarksville. They tear it down and they flatten it out and put seed on it so it grows, and it's just a lot.
Was y'all thinking something different?
I was thinking another commercial space with apartments on top.
I mean, that's up to y'all. I mean, you could do that.
The same concept with the big windows and, What about your parking? There's no parking there. well, we own the adjacent property as well, with the little, beauty shop.
Mm-hmm.
So, if we knock down that one, it's on have that L-shaped piece of property. Mrs. Talmadge owns the dip in the back. It's pretty much a square right up on us. And looking at a flood map, it's kind of squishy in there. So there'd have to be some sort of grading done or retaining wall.
Yeah, 2 foot above.
Some sort of something.
Yeah, 2 foot above floodplain is the minimum floor height.
Okay. I mean, what does Cumberland City need? What would appeal to the citizens? Have y'all considered what would be beneficial, useful, enriching to the community?
I mean, a family fun center would be amazing, and I know people from Erin would definitely come over here to do that. Everybody.
I mean, like ball pits and climbing stuff,
or bowling, or roller skating, or anything. I mean, just something to do with the family, because there's nothing out here in general to do with families at all. And with the kids, at least, there's, I mean, stuff for the adults, but there's not stuff
I
out
was
there
sad
to do
to
with
see
your
the
family.
skating rink in Clarksville get bought.
I know, that was really
Down.
sad.
I would imagine that some people thought it was worth the drive to go skating.
Are y'all interested in putting something there that some type of
Eventually, yeah.
commercial property?
We've had some health issues in the family, and it's an old dilapidated building. I'm a sentimental sap. My parents, my mother, Robbie Clements, was born in Cumberland City to Herbert and Maureen Clements, and I've always lived in Clarksville, but Cumberland City's always been kind of special to me. The Sunday drives, the after church dinners. They were on Scotch Chapel Road, and we first bought the old Lakeview Tavern in 2021, and then my cousin Matt told me about this little beauty shop. I bought that, and then I saw the big building next door, and I was like, well, that's cool. But the month after we bought it, a tree fell on the back. I mean, it was in crummy condition when we got it to begin with, but it was at the very least salvageable at that point. I had Mr. Wally Crow come down. I talked to you last year about it. I want to do something that is that will last beyond me, but this is a 200-year-old building, and I don't want to just push it into the ground. Ideally, get somebody with a piece of equipment with a thumb and let me get these I-beams and the 200-year-old timber. Nick Walker, the guy I bought it from, told me he had to go to North Carolina to see the original deed because it was built before Tennessee was Tennessee. Which is interesting to me, you know. I like to scrape it all out of there and get in there with a metal detector and see what I could do, but it's kind of been out of sight, out of mind. You know, definitely I'm not pleased with the current condition that it's in. It's dangerous, it's ugly, it's scary. So, I mean, clearly knocking it down is what we want to do, but I don't want to just bury it without, you know, picking. I'd like to get the glass off the front, and there's some 7-foot high, solid, look like walnut shelves in there that don't need to be mashed into the ground.
Is there some kind of time frame that you're thinking about?
Yeah, I mean, ideally, the tree wouldn't have fallen on, and I could have brought it back to its original glory, but sooner is better than later. But like this lady said, that this time of year is unpredictable. You know, I'd like to get through the tax season and see how bad Uncle Sam's gonna knock us in the dirt. But I've got some things coming due that is going to increase my capital to where I won't have to borrow money to do what I need to do. I talked to a boy out of Erin recently, ABS. He said that he could knock it down pretty quick if I needed him to. But I wanted to talk to everybody because it's going to be a process. And, you know, I don't have a trailer that's worth a flip. Somebody rent me a good tandem axle trailer. I'll start hauling blocks out and take a chunk every day.
Just make sure when they go to tear it down, they do an asbestos test on it, because the state's gonna want an asbestos test on some of that old stuff.
Okay. What
So,
entity do you go to?
I'll try to get you a name. Typically,
Environmental conservation.
yeah.
It's Tennessee Environmental Conservation.
Yeah.
They'll demand that you have, because that's a commercial building at one time, they'll demand that you have a demolition permit. That demolition permit, you'll just check what you know and what you don't know is in there. If they go down through there and it says you don't check asbestos and it's 100 years or 150 years old, they may send an inspector, they may not. That'll be up to them at that time. But that's all you can do all that online.
Yeah.
He need to sign a waiver before I let him walk
That's
around
pretty
in
bad.
there.
I've been around back. It's pretty bad.
Yeah, it's terrible. We drove around before it was parked.
That's what we got concerned about, because we bring kids away from over there playing. It's dangerous, some of them getting hurt or
Yeah,
getting killed there.
And
Yeah, I
that's
guess
the
my
biggest reason.
Caution tape blew away or something.
Well, kids are not paying attention to that.
That was our biggest issue, just, you know, the safety aspect of kids or anybody, you know,
Right.
out messing around out there that doesn't need to be or
Little
whatever.
animals trying to get out of the wind. I don't want anybody to get hurt.
We just, you know, had to look into something to let y'all know this is a concern of the city, and obviously,
Right.
we just need to get something done about it.
Well, we're in process of contacting, like she said, she's reached out to a couple of demo companies to try to price it out, to see what can be done, and what it's gonna cost.
Yeah.
But, we haven't committed to a time frame.
Yeah. What is ideal for y'all?
Well, as you said
Yesterday?
earlier, yeah, sooner the better for us. You know, this has been a topic in our meetings for several months now,
Probably
so
way before I even bought it.
maybe, I don't
I
know.
didn't get it till June 30th of 2023. And it was compromised, but I believe in August there was a big hickory tree or something that fell in the back of it. Hackberry, whatever, irrelevant, crushed it. So that was upsetting, to say the least. Does anybody want to buy it? Buy them both?
Selling it for cheap?
Yeah, make me an offer.
I think we can commit to staying in better contact with you, with our time frames. Let's get some more estimates on what it's gonna cost.
Some more sunshine.
Is there something we could do a little more than just caution tape to do it?
Well, what would you recommend? Fence or?
They got that orange safety fence.
Yeah.
It looks like
That's
glass,
just as flimsy as the
Yeah,
caution
yeah,
tape
but
and
it's-
ugly to boot.
but it's not just a piece of tape that they can just
Right.
dip under. You can tape the fasten it to posts, T-posts, and at least it's a barrier.
You know, you have to get a run and jump or just squish it.
I mean, if they're trying to get it that bad, they need to do something else done with them.
That is
And
also a
so,
valid point.
Yeah, we'll put up a little better there.
Have
Is there some
community
signage?
marshmallow roast.
Is there any signage?
I think we put some, no trespassing and road edge, when we put the tape up. But I can double check that and make sure that.
Yeah, we
it's
can
well
get, we
posted.
can get some fresh ones down here tomorrow.
But we appreciate you guys being willing to come in and help take care
We
of
got an
that.
engraved invitation, why wouldn't we?
Was that, as the city, one of my goals is we're gonna clean up some of our stuff too. And we would just like to, I think that's one of the big places we can start in this town.
Which it is an
Start
eyesore, it is a
beautifying.
monster.
And, I think some things will start taking care of themselves. So we appreciate you being willing to talk about this, and if you would, like you said, stay in touch with us. If we could get it, removed to a grassy lot, and then we can talk about what might come in its place.
A restaurant would be nice.
Yeah,
Yeah.
restaurant.
Something, but
That's kind of what I was thinking, you know,
Right.
like two or three spaces across the front for various commercial,
Yeah,
whatever.
yeah, some rental
And then
space for
some
new businesses to come in would be
Small
good.
apartments upstairs for people to,
Mixed use is ultimately
Yes.
what we were thinking.
Yes.
So residential on the
Build
top.
a building that can be easily converted to the needs of
right,
I don't know that we
different needs.
particularly have time to run a business out of there, so, I mean.
we would
it-
rent it to business owners or
Right.
business prospects.
And I'd love to see a meet and three, some nice place to come sit down with the family to eat, or, like you said, something to do with the kids. But that would be more up to y'all than it would be to us. We just like to
We would
provide
be
space.
interested if it's available, sorry, I didn't cut you off. There's a pumping thing
Yeah.
back there, there's a big cylindrical tank. And I think it's some sort of pumping station. Do y'all have like a utility overlay that can show us where lines are, gas lines, water lines, sewer lines?
It's kind of at the convergence of all the properties, all
With
of
cities.
these properties.
We
there.
have that.
And I think the city still owns a small building right there next to
Probably the same
place. So, yeah, just something so that we don't get in there and mess up a bunch of.
Yes.
Yeah, we don't wanna do that.
Infrastructure.
Yeah, no,
Right.
no.
We
We don't
can
wanna do
help y'all with that. Yeah, let's just stay in touch and, we'll just work with you guys.
And just when we get closer to finding out what we wanna do with it, just make sure you get with David and make sure that it's something that you can do residential and commercial at the same time on the same parcel, things like that, 'cause we do have the zoning issue that comes in.
yeah, they could do like a live work kind of business, but it would just have to, that would break it down to like when, if you have somebody living upstairs, then you get into like, firewalls and stuff like that. And,
Right.
Is it not a zoning
Sprinkling.
issue though, with it being commercial and residential?
well, no, because like, in,
Like I said,
like,
it'd be great to get the building
Yeah.
down
Well,
first, then we
yeah.
can worry
Yeah.
about.
I just wanted to make sure that they.
Right,
what
it
their
would be nice
options
to have
were
a
before
plan
they-
for it,
yeah.
that, what,
Yeah.
as you're doing
Because-
other work.
And we're-
typically in all commercial, that's what they make like we have, like I said in Clarksville, we have, what we call live work. It's like, you live upstairs, you work downstairs, and it's like in the CBDs or C5, and y'all just got commercial, so I don't see why you couldn't do that,
Yeah,
I just wanna make sure, I just wanted to run that,
Yeah.
so
Considered
anything,
commercial anyway.
anything you guys decide on or something, just make sure you run it through him.
Well, and to that matter, we're open to suggestions. We're
Yeah, I don't wanna
absolutely brainstorming.
build something that's not gonna be utilized or enjoyed by the people that live here.
We appreciate that.
Absolutely.
And,
Well-
we'll talk about that a little bit.
Yeah, y'all brainstorm
Mhm.
and get with us if something sounds fantastic. But it'll probably be realistically springtime before we can really get anything done. As wet as it is now,
So understand.
I can't imagine anybody wanting to drive around in that.
All right, we'll move to the next item.
Okay, if nobody has anything else, to add, the next thing I have on the agenda is, I have been contacted, when Ms. Cheryl was here, we pushed back at this because it was so expensive. But they have contacted us again we right now run with local government, that's how we do all of our reporting, everything we do. We only have for water and sewer, and then I do payroll and reconcile, and when I reconcile the bank accounts, that's the only thing our system does for us. Property tax, everything like that, we still do. We have our big book back there, we write it down when we get it, all that stuff. So I was contacted by Mr. Steve Montgomery. He found us a deal that would help Cumberland City tremendously if you guys were on board with this. Right now, for FlexGen, we pay right now for this year, it could go up next year, but what we just paid was $22,440. That's what we paid for our reporting system. With that being said, then they're upgrading all of from FlexGen, they're wanting to get everybody to NextGen. It's, I guess, the next step up from FlexGen, NextGen. What that's going to help us do more of is it's still going to do the same thing that we've been doing. It's going to do purchasing, it's going to do the utility, it's going to do payroll, general ledger, just like we have now. But it's also going to add where we have document management and it says here on the platform. So what that's going to do is we're going to be able to. Right now, I got the free system with Government Window. That's who we use for our credit card system. They made us a website. It was completely free to Cumberland City. I found them, and that way we could have a credit card where we could do credit cards. And then everybody could go online, and they can go on to cumberlandpay.com and pay their bill. But you have to know all your credentials. When you go online, you have to know it. You can't, it doesn't pull it up for you. You have to type in your name, you have to type in your account number, and how much you're going to pay. With this local government, we could swap that Government Window, to go back to that, that's completely free to Cumberland City. It charges the customer. So they have to pay either 3.5%, or if they're paying a citation, it's 7%. And that's the charge that is separate. The city doesn't see that ever. It goes straight to charges the customer. With local government going upgrading to NextGen, they're going to go on. They're going to make us a website. I don't know what Dover has, but Erin has this NextGen, and I have a water bill at Erin, so I know how it works. You go on there. They have a website. You say you want to go on and pay your water bill or your citation or your property tax. You type in your name. It pulls up everything for you. It tells you how much you have to pay. Tells you what your count is, all that good stuff. It pulls all that up for you. Now, it's not a reoccurring thing. You have to go on there and still do it every month, just like you do now. It won't auto draft it, but you wouldn't have to find all your stuff, even though, and it would give the city the opportunity to do everything for property tax electronically. I can put all of the property taxes that we have now in the computer. If you pay, it batches it out. It lets us know that you paid instead of it being. There's more room for error the way we do it now, even though we don't have that many property taxes. We still have quite a few for one person to keep up with. And then when you go to back taxes and have to go, when it goes to Chancery Court, things like that, all of that will be in the computer, and it's just a push of a button looking somebody up, just like our water bills. With that being said, it's actually a cheaper option for Cumberland City. Right now with FlexGen, we pay $22,000. With this annual support, which what will be next year if we decide to do this, will only be $9,928. So we're going to be saving $12,000. The initial thing that would happen right now, I'm not coming to you guys to ask for money. I just want to let you guys know. I want you guys to approve this if you want to, but we're going to have to initially put out $12,000. So to get the new system, to get the credit card system, to get everything set up on the computer, it's going to cost $12,390. But that's a one-time fee. And it's not costing the city any extra money because we already are gonna pay 22,000. Well, if you add 9,000 and 12,000 together, we're still under budget for what it was gonna be initially, or
Next
right
year
there at
it'll
it.
be half.
And next year it will be
less than
half. We'll only pay, if it goes up, sometimes they do go up just a little bit. But, I mean, it's went from, when I took over as city recorder, it was only 19,000, now we're up to 22. So, I mean, if we can save $10,000 a year,
What did
and we get
budget-
more access to things,
What did we budget for in
2020, or
22,000.
22,000, sorry. Actually, I think I did 25 just
What's
to be
the
safe.
platform, integration not under the next gen? What, the 544 and the 2312?
I guess
So
that's,
that's included in the next gen?
yes. I don't guess we have to have it. We won't have to have the document management and all that. We don't utilize it anyway. It's just I've never used it. I don't know what it is. It's something that, but what Mr. Steve Montgomery was able to do is give us a small business discount. So because we're a small town, the city, we were able to get a humongous discount. And so I talked to him, I said, we're not paying anymore, so we might as well not even talk. And then he came back and said, well, this is what I found for your city, with the population that you guys have and the amount of data that we're going to be putting into the system. He said we can get a discount. So I just wanted to come to you guys. I personally, I don't look forward to doing a new system, but I think it would be beneficial for the city, especially for customers to be able to go on there, type their name in, it pulls up their stuff, and they don't have to worry if they're paying the right amount, if they don't have their bill, and it's going to help out with property taxes. You can go online right now to pay your property taxes, but if you don't know your parcel number, you don't know your amount, you have to call us, or you have to come in and do it.
And 10,000 cheaper.
Yeah, and it's $10,000 cheaper.
I'd say any way you can save money, that's something you need to look into.
And it's going to give us more
Capabilities
capabilities to have less errors.
and less complicated.
I don't know if it's going to be less complicated, but
Well, as far as the people paying,
yes, sir.
May make your job a little harder,
right,
but
That'll be okay.
So, with that being said, is anything else y'all would like to discuss on that? Or
Do we need a motion on this?
A motion and a roll call.
I make a motion.
got a motion and a second, and we'll call the roll.
Short,
Yes.
Dodson,
Yes.
Gillum, Million,
Yes.
Taylor.
Yes.
I catch myself there.
Passed. All right, back to me then.
Back to you, sir. I think that's all we have on
Is there any other business that we need to discuss?
I would like to thank Boo again for the donations for the pizza, for the fire hall, for the Christmas. We had between about 93 kids, I think they said, something like that.
Sorry I couldn't be here this year, but it looked like y'all were full.
It was. Thank you very much.
Again, I'd like to thank everyone for coming. This is my first meeting, so I'm gonna try to get better at this. Yes,
I did receive a letter in the mail talking about the property 328.
I spoke to your mother. She said that she was going to come next month.
Of course.
She said they were
and
out of
she
the
doesn't
country.
tell me that. Oh,
That's the
I came
trailers,
on
right?
behalf
Yes,
of
that's the
them.
campers and the
Yeah.
trailer.
Yes.
So,
Which
it's up to y'all.
I'm
They're
gonna-
the parcel owners.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, I'm the owner technically, but they live with us, so I'm not really sure what you're wanting us to do, because
Basically, it all boils down to they're paying residential rate on what should be commercial. And so I guess the city wants y'all to go from residential back to commercial and just pay commercial rate.
that's all that y'all want.
Well,
I
is
think
it
that-
not an issue that they have? That was what the board brought to my attention.
Yeah.
They were concerned that there is a residence on there plus the commercial.
Yeah,
But
but that could be like grandfathered in, and it could fall under, like you have like caretaker cottages for like storage. You know, when you got a storage complex, you got a place where people can live. Or if you've got, you know, different things, you've got like managers that, just like a church, you've got a parsonage. So that's, I mean, it's up to y'all. I don't see, realistically how it's fair for the city to ask them to go to commercial and then tell them you got to turn in your house. So I mean, that could be something that could be okay. That was existing, you know, conditions. So, but you can't build another one. You know what I'm saying?
Well, see, and I'm sorry, I don't want to speak over Miss Linda. They came to us in the past. I wasn't in the ministry. I wasn't in the office. They came to us in the past and changed it from commercial to residential, agricultural. Sorry, to be able to put the house trailer on there. Then they put all the campers back up there, but they were not commercial anymore. They had changed it to agricultural to have a residence there, have a single dwelling residence. So the board's question was, nobody came back to our planning commission to be able to put commercial campers back on there.
Yeah, they could do a split, like split zone.
That's up to the
split zone, and where you could do like residential for the house, and you do commercial for everything else. It's, you know.
So just like rezone it.
Yeah, rezone it, like they split, like that's like kind of what we do in Clarksville. You know, you'll have a C5, but you'll have apartments which are R4.
Do we have C5 or something like that here?
No.
Okay. That's what I
You've
was
got
thinking.
like commercial and residential.
Yeah.
And so it's a little hard because it kind of muddies the water.
Okay. So what is? I mean, it's the option to rehab it.
That's up to y'all. I mean, you can rezone it and pick up the commercial rate, and you know they can like do a split, and where the house is, hey, that's residential, leave that residential rate and pick up
So that's
commercial
something
rate.
they'd have to go find a person to re.
I don't know how y'all do that. You know, typically, don't y'all just vote on it? I mean, how do y'all, you know, y'all go from commercial to residential just by voting on it? So, ergo, if you wanted to split it, following the same methodology, put it to a vote. I mean, and it's y'all's call, but that's the only fair way, I think, instead of.
So it has to be rezoned though, right?
Yeah, it has to be rezoned.
Well, I would say, at least, you know.
So wouldn't that have to go to the zoning committee?
Yeah, and I say, and that's something that I don't know, you know, that's something that y'all could vote on at the zoning committee.
Yeah, the zoning committee votes and then they turn it over to the council.
But if it's all on one parcel,
But you can split it.
you can, but that's gonna take necessarily a survey
That's what I was
to
saying.
get that done.
Yeah.
So that
You'll
would
at least have to have a survey or something.
That would be up to the property owner to
Yeah,
get that
pay for
done
that.
and then present it if they wanna continue the commercial and the
But could they
residential.
just pay a commercial rate for the entire property, even though there's a house there?
I'm good with that too. Yeah, just make the whole thing because the house is already there.
It'd probably be
It's the easiest thing to do.
Doing a survey. And
Yeah, well, yeah, because surveys are expensive now. They used to be dirt
I mean,
cheap.
as long as the house can stay there, that'd be amazing.
Well,
because-
We've got plans on moving it within the year,
Yeah.
it's just not.
Yeah, it's
Like,
kind
not
of like our
anytime
whole,
soon.
we're all staying in there right now, so it's kind of hard, but we're renovating it. Like, we're trying to actually move it off the property to possibly be on a different property as our sole home, but we're kind of like, I'm only 24, so like, I don't have a lot of money, like, I'm just being honest with y'all. So to be like, y'all need to move your, like, property off, that's not only.
I don't think that's what.
Yeah, it's just like, that's gonna be a lot of
I think the
stress for me at
the
least.
easiest thing to do is just come before the zoning committee, right?
you get it
and
changed to
request
commercial.
to change it back to commercial.
Okay.
It's
Yeah,
just
the
a
only
matter of-
issue with that was my mom told me that she already talked to somebody about what the codes were, which, that didn't happen, that's why I'm here. So I didn't even know that was all happening, because the property itself isn't mine. So,
Yeah, but it doesn't really know.
Just get with your mom and.
okay.
Yeah, and if she has any questions, have her call me.
Okay, because I'm just, I was stressed out, if I'm
You
being
can
honest.
contact Kristen and we'll set up a time.
Yeah, especially if you're gonna move it.
Yeah.
I can't see it why.
I mean, they were talking about how they wanted to buy it because, like, it would have been easier for them to just stay there and not have to move again. But also like, you know, I don't know what she wants to do if I'm gonna be completely honest.
Okay.
So I'm kind of in a blindfold situation.
When y'all figure it out, just call me, or you can call, and we'll figure
We
something
just
out.
like to get it back to commercial as soon as we can.
Yep.
Okay, we can definitely do that for sure. I don't think that would be an issue at all.
Thank you.
Of course, yes, I was just wanting to make sure that was addressed, and I didn't want to get another letter and y'all think I wasn't here or ignored it or anything. But, yeah, we'll get it figured out, however we need to. But I just wanted to see what all we needed to do.
All right. Thank you very much. Is there any other business that the Alderman would like to discuss?
If you want to suspend the rules, I'll give you a quick update on the
Yes.
property over here. Is that okay with y'all?
Absolutely, that'd be great.
Okay. So, I've spoken with, Ms. Taylor, District 7 Commissioner for the county. And I've spoken with some members of the state as far as tearing the school down. That school we know has to come down in our grant, and there's a restroom that we put in the grant to be built. So we need to come together and soon, really soon, and find out if that's the route we're still wanting to go as far as restroom wise. If you have, there's been some concerns that you guys might not have the crew to keep up with the restroom. I'm not sure that we do with the county either, so that's definitely understood. So what I went with was what we went with 2 years ago when I put in for this massive grant. And that's what we went with all collectively at the same time. So we need to get that under control fast. Also, I got 2 separate phone calls from citizens over the last 3 weeks. One of them just visited here during the holidays, and she's like, "I can't believe you're tearing the school down." And I'm like, "Well, it's got to come down. This is way overdue. Should have come down 20 years ago." So going forward, and I spoke with a brick company. I called them before I came to the meeting today. They actually take and clean those brick, and they charge you $5 a brick. You got to bring them to them without cement. They charge you $5. They clean them and they'll plate them. They'll put a name on them. If Eric wants 2 bricks with his name on them or whatever, and they say they're selling for $40 and $50. Be a huge fundraiser for Cumberland City because just something to do with those bricks. I'm just bringing this for an idea. I'm just telling you that you could raise funds to do something else on that property. You wouldn't have to put any money out for it. The city also was putting in, I can't remember the number. Was it 50,000 or 40,000 or 60,000 or something? Yeah. So that would be another way to catch up really fast. Also, it's a really good time. I don't mean to drag this out. It's a really good time to start hitting your citizens up about labor on this around the school. Any hours we can put in, have a monetary amount assigned to them. So if it's a laborer, they might pay them $15 an hour. But if they come in and volunteer their time and we can record 30 hours, that's that less amount that you guys have to pay. If you have a guy coming in with a tractor and says, "I'm going to clean all the bricks up, push the bricks in a pile, and I'll take care of the rest," we can assign a monetary value to that tractor and those bricks. Anything that we can do to help lessen the burden for Cumberland City. I realize y'all are like the rest of us and don't have a lot of money. I'm taking before the county commission. I talked with Mayor Brake on this. We're going to go to the county commission probably in February. Most of you already know that we got an impact payment from TVA. We had to fight for it for whatever reason, but we got it assigned to us along with Houston County. And I've spoke with Phil. Some of that money needs to hit in the impacted area. I'm not telling you all that money will hit the impacted area because that's not plausible. So, but what I am saying is the road in the industrial park, Mayor Brake and I, along with Mr. Taylor, we need to hit that running and get that road fixed ASAP. The board is looking at you as that is your responsibility because technically that's your responsibility. However, There's 120 trucks a day probably coming out of that road right there, and you know, we want to share the load with that, and I think we can do that through impact money. I don't think that will impact Cumberland City a lot, because I really do believe, I'm not just saying that, I think we can between Houston County ourselves. I'd love to hit Henry County up, since they got an impact payment with no impact, but we'll see how that goes.
It's a good idea.
But we have hired the engineer. We have procured the engineer and the grant administrator. They're doing your NEPA testing and things like that right now, your environmental stuff.
I've seen them.
And so I can't give you an exact date right now, but I really just want to give you an update on I know a lot of you probably hear, why isn't the school down yet? I'm hearing, why didn't the ball field have lights yet? This is a long drawn out thing, and I understand it, but it's coming soon. But we do need to get together. You need to get with Miss Taylor, Mr. Dortch, myself, and we need to come up with a solid plan, because that needs to be happening soon. February, March, we need to be, if you guys don't want the restroom that we originally wanted, we need to find out what we're going to do in place. They won't just let us pull that restroom and not do anything. That's not the way the grant works. They really didn't want us to pull the restroom, but I've spoken with them, and they said, well, if there's a safety concern that we didn't have in the beginning, we understand that. So that's where that's at.
We could potentially turn that bathroom into a new playground, or
Absolutely.
I'm asking, or a pavilion type of. I've talked with Kristen, not you guys yet, but we have a little money that we had been thinking about putting toward a restroom, and we're looking more in the portable type situation with a rental to take care of it. So I guess we just need to talk about what we really want to do there. That restroom was pretty expensive.
So what I did,
Right.
250,000 is what I applied for Cumberland City.
And we got to pay 50.
And you guys were paying 50. So what that was $50,000 is for your services, your engineering services, your admin services, all of your testing that goes through the state, your demolition permits, all that stuff. That's what 50,000 is for. And we were really close on that number. We don't know where the school's going to come in at. I've got a company that I've reached out to that I said, listen, you really want to make an impact? Come out there and let us record you knocking down that school. We'll blast it everywhere. And they said, well, we could probably help with that. That doesn't mean anything to us. We have $125,000 bid for that, to get that school on the ground and get rid of it. That's and getting that hole covered back up. So with that being said, we would have $100,000 left, between $100,000 and $125,000 left for that. The restroom that the city of Dover looked at is a pre-manufactured. You have the pad poured and the septic and water done, and they come in and set it and leave. And they're really nice. The Corps of Engineers has them, a lot of them, and they're really nice. So, but however, if I'm just here at the pleasure of y'all. So if that's not your wish, we need to turn fast, because we're going to get to a point where the state will say, no, you're putting a restroom, man. We don't care what you do with it later. But just to give you an update.
That's good. Thank you, Mayor. Thank you very much. Is there anything else that we need to discuss at this time? If not, do I hear a motion to adjourn? Motion made and seconded. All in favor?
Aye.
Carried.
Nice job, Peter.
Thank all of y'all.
Thank you.